So now I'll be recording. This could go up on YouTube, so hi YouTube, if anyone ever sees this. Um, yeah, the idea here is to just have a stream. I don't want to be an entertainer in the sense of, in the traditional sense of being very charismatic and having loads of fun, but rather just understanding what I do. And it's more a log. My brother does this a lot, where he just loves everything he does, all his trainings, and he enjoys that a lot because it helps him track where he was, maybe a year ago, mentally especially. I think that's the thing that we forget the most. Like, I can maybe remember what we could do at one point. Oh, at this point I was lifting whatever, right, 100 kilos or whatever. Uh, but when you record and write um, your thoughts, it usually helps you remember what you were thinking instead of how you were externally. And and that's something that I seek to do as well, because I usually forget, and I go through the cycles of, oh, I'm very, maybe I'm depressed, or I'm anxious about something, or maybe I'm just down. Not depressed, but down, really um, unmotivated, feeling like, like I could be doing something, but I'm not. And that sort of thing, I believe it's the source of all my of these cycles is the source of these cycles is not being able to go back to them and analyze them, or go back to them and see, oh, okay, I was here before, I've been through this, I can do it. It's all fine. And I would like this to be a new beginning. April is always a good month for me mentally. I really like April. It's the end of the summer here, which really drains me. I really don't like summer, and it kills me every single year. It kills me when summer rolls by, and everything becomes sweaty and hot and damp. I really don't like it, and I love winter, and I love the fall. The fall, it's my favorite. It's my favorite season of the year, fall season, because all the leaves have beautiful colors. Now I live right beside a tree, so I'm starting to see it go orange, and I love that. I love that I'll be able to see that. Um, I don't have allergies during fall, and I don't have my sinuses issues that I do have during winter. So it's like the perfect time of the year for me. Uh, April is also my girlfriend's birthday, so we celebrate that. That's pretty cool. And April was the month I chose to resign my old job, so my previous job. I don't know. It's kind of weird to talk about it because it was kind of a long time ago. So, but it has this important transformative uh, feeling to me. This month of April, I love that, and I wish to continue the tradition of starting new things on April, you know, and and quitting in October. That's usually uh, my modus operandi. Yeah, I'll see what I do. Um, I really enjoy working on the iPad as well, but there's something with the iPad that I'm not in love with, and that is, first off, if I want to use Clip Studio, I have to pay monthly, and I don't want to. I just don't. I know it's not that much, and I know it's not, if you make your money back, that's fine. But it feels like I'm supporting something that I don't want to support. I don't want to support a, a subscription system that it clearly doesn't need, and that's what bothers me the most, because on the computer, their biggest platform, they don't have a subscription system, but on Android and on iOS or iPadOS, depending on where you use it, um, it does have a subscription model, and I'll be paying in a year, half of what I paid 6 years ago to get it fully, and that's I don't think that's good, especially with how cheap Clip Studio goes on PC or on Mac. It's stupidly cheap, and on desktop computers. So I don't understand why they did this. It's probably another division. They probably are making use of the mobile audiences who are more prone to spend money. But I tested it. The application is fine. It's just fine. It works just like the desktop app. It's really not. I couldn't recommend it if you're looking for a mobile experience. It's very much a desktop experience. I don't know how you use Clip Studio without a keyboard on the iPad. It it's just a desktop app inside a tablet, so beware of that if you ever want to use it. Um, and I like that because I don't have to think about a new way of working. But at the same time, I don't think it justifies paying every month, you know, 5% of the cost of the full program. Like, I've been using Clip Studio for pretty much 6 years now, and it's great. It works great. I've never had to pay for a second thing. I've never had to renew my license. I've gotten every update and it's worked perfectly fine. It's improved even with time, which is a lesson Adobe could learn from, instead of making every version work worse, maybe make it work better and then add the features, right? And I love that. I love that the software kept updating. I love that the software is good, and they never changed their approach to it. But with the mobile version, I can't justify. I don't know. I can see how other people do it though. I couldn't mind doing it if if that was my way of working, but I can probably work on the computer just fine. Do my lines there, do my coloring there, and use the iPad for sketching, for working outside of my house. It's a shame because I really wanted to use the iPad more, so I'll probably have to find another use for it. Maybe daily sketching, keeping a sketchbook. Yeah, using Infinite Painter. A lot of people like to use Procreate, but Procreate to me, it has a horrible interface. Like, I hate it. I hate the Procreate interface. It's not very friendly when you're trying to get brushes going. It's really weird because you have to open a window that takes you out of the program, so out of your canvas, out of your illustration, out of your sketch, test it there, uh, and then go into the illustration and see if it works. Maybe it doesn't work because it's a completely different environment that you're testing it on. So I really don't like it. I'm the kind of person who likes to play around with brushes all the time. So Procreate, to me, it feels like, okay, I grab it and I draw something and I don't touch much. But I don't like it. I don't like that the brushes have some sort of post-processing. Whenever I draw a line, it changes after I draw it. You know, when I draw a line on Clip Studio, boom, that's it. That's the line I've drawn. But with Procreate, every single time it just changes the shape of it. I'm like, but that's not what I drew. I want what I draw to just stay there. And I couldn't figure out how to fix that feeling when drawing with it. I don't know, I feel like the interface is too simple. And when you try to use the palettes and the windows, it becomes clutter and unusable because it's not meant to be used that way. While Infinite Painter, I think it's way better. You don't need a keyboard. You don't need pretty much anything. You just need the software. It kind of sucks that it crashes so much, but I think it's really good. It's a good piece of software, especially the UI. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love it compared to Procreate UI. I really dislike that. Yeah, the UI. I hate it. I hate it. It's weird because most people use it, right? Most artists who draw on the iPad will use Procreate. They'll use it because it works. They can produce awesome stuff with it. You know, Loish uses it. The Raposa uses it. Everybody who has an iPad Pro uses Procreate. I hate it. I just do. And I wish Infinite Painter had more funding behind it, so it could become a bigger tool. Because I honestly think Infinite Painter could just demolish Procreate if it had a bigger community, yeah, or a bigger user base, you know. Because I think it's very few people who are working on it, and Procreate kind of sucked the air out of the room when it came to the mobile drawing app market. So I don't know. I really don't. I hope it improves in the future. I don't think it will, because people generally don't care about this kind of stuff. They just want the program that their favorite artist uses. And that's why I want to use Procreate more, because not Procreate, fuck off Procreate. Infinite Painter more, because Infinite Painter is my favorite tool on the iPad, and I want more people to see that. So that's why I kind of want to make stuff for social media almost exclusively on Infinite Painter, just so they see it more and people download it and buy it, because it's great. It's a great tool. The brushes are awesome. The brush engine is fucking amazing. I love that engine. It's so easy to use, it's easy to understand, the manual is super clear. Anything that you need, you can find it there. There's nothing hidden, there's nothing weird about it. The tool is it's awesome. I want to see more of it. I really do. I'm adding a bit of green here because, yeah, I think it helps a lot with the contrast. I'll rotate this again so I'm not flipped in regards to the actual image. I have two different versions on the sides, as you can notice. Those are mostly for me to check whether or not it's working on if the changes I'm making are noticeable from far away. Some of them shouldn't be noticeable, it's fine. You know, texture changes are not gonna be noticeable. Um, Value changes are, you know, color changes, especially if they affect value, should be noticeable. But anything else, you know, you can simply let it exist in the zoomed in version, because if you are looking at someone from far away, you're not gonna see their pores, you're not gonna see their, you know, anything. But when you look up close, you will. So the idea here is that you'll be able to see the details if you want to see the details, you know, zooming in. If you don't, the details should make it harder to read. I've seen a lot of paintings or you know, a lot of photo bash stuff too, where there's so much detail around an area that when you zoom out, it's really hard to understand how the image is working and how what's happening on the image itself. So that's what I'm trying to avoid with these small versions up there. You know, keep adding things, but have them complement the image and inform you that, hey, yeah, there is a texture here, but it's not, you don't need to see it all the time. So it's there. No, it's not a line, it's not a perfect thing. It's organic. So you shouldn't see it all the time. But, you know, it's there. Texture helps a lot with form and perspective too, so that's useful. The music in the background is from a piano stream by a Japanese guy who does kind of the beats to study to meme. But the interesting part about it is that he records himself studying, and he makes videos that are studying sessions or working sessions or whatever that require concentration, and he just does those, so you can do it while he studies. It's a very interesting dynamic, and I just found out about it yesterday. Yeah, while I was working at night, I wanted something to listen in the background, but I didn't want a podcast or anything like that because I'm kind of side. I can't speak to it. I can't speak to it. I'm kind of tired of podcasts. You know, it's too much information all the time into your brain, opinions, and you wake up and you start thinking about your world and I want to do all these things. I'm interested in this game, or I'm interested in, in this topic, and then you start listening to a podcast because that's what you do. It's your habit or whatever, and your your thoughts shift completely into these podcast ideas, and you know, I don't like that. I think that's damaging. It isn't the worst thing ever, but I do think it's damaging. I think it hurts when everything you do is shaped by a person who you'll never meet, a person who maybe is super different from you, and a person who's making money out of it. So, maybe they're not being sincere in the way they express their opinions, but rather they are doing so because that way they make more money, right? And how YouTubers or Twitch streamers or podcast um, hosts will exaggerate the vehemency with which they express an opinion or express a reaction. Oh my god! You're like, wait, come on. Are you really that impressed, upset, happy about that thing, or are you just acting it up? And they're probably acting it up, and when I see that kind of thing, I've always had this feeling where I start feeling inadequate because my reaction is not like that. I feel this disconnect between this other person. It makes me deeply saddened to, to see that I cannot connect with this person because I feel fake, because I give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe I shouldn't, right? Because it's their job to be this reaction machine and to give opinions on everything, even though they maybe don't care and maybe they don't couldn't give that opinion out if nobody was watching. So so I've been trying to avoid podcasts for not that long right now, but for a while. I've been struggling to kind of quit them, and lately I've been feeling this reinvigorated love for art that I wanted to become this main element in my life. Along with my friendships and along with my relationship with my girlfriend and with my family. Now that I am actively taking care of those things, because I cannot give them for granted, because it's really easy to just fall through and not see your parents ever, not see your brothers, your best friends, or just not value your partner next to you. It's really easy to do that because they are there, and especially when you're younger, you think, okay, I can do this. I can work on this thing blindly, and people are gonna wait, right? And maybe some will, but I don't think it's fair. Even if they will wait, I don't think it's fair for you to leave them on thinking that you really value them if you're not willing to try and find some sort of balance, even if it is, okay, I will be working however many hours a week and I will be seeing you less, but I will see you. I will make the effort to see you, every 2 weeks or maybe once a week if it is someone who requires that kind of relationship. I don't want to have my mom who misses me dearly, right, at home, uh, not ever see me for a while just because, oh no, I'm working and I don't have time. Like, yeah, I get that, but is it fair? Is it fair to do that towards people with without whom you couldn't be able to be at the place you are? It's like having people grab you and bring you to the top of a mountain, and then you keep going and you forget about them. You forget about all the sacrifices they did so you could do what you did. You forget about all the time they spent on you, fostering their relationship with you, just so the moment you found a chance, you just left. I think that's unfair, and it would hurt me. It would hurt me to lose those things, because I think those relationships are what the things that make me who I am and who I want to be. And replacing that with people talking all the time about their opinions and talking all the time about, oh, this trend that is going on socially or politically is ruining the world or is saving the world or is this or is that. They are just distractions from what really matters to me, and what really matters to me is it's my family and the people I love, and I think that's important to not forget, uh, through distracting ourselves about what's important and what we want to do with our lives. And I will be inadvertently doing what I don't like uh, seeing, which is I'll maybe give opinions. Well, I will give opinions. I'm going to. It's a given. Um, but I'll try to avoid topics that are not constructive. I'll try to avoid those, and whenever I talk, I'll try to join to bring people in the conversation, uh, and see if we can have conversations and not arguments. Everyone has arguments and debates online. And every time I look at a conversation online, it's going well, and maybe if I'm lucky to find one of those, uh, suddenly some dude just starts claiming things and calling people's names because they hold an opinion, and that really does depress me. That's what pushed me away from platforms like Twitter, like YouTube comment sections. I do participate sometimes, but I definitely don't like it most of the time. Reddit, I've completely abandoned. I don't think I want to see that anymore, and you know, trying to have a conversation on Reddit sometimes feels like that you can't make a statement without having 1,000 sources backing it up, and it's like I don't think that's how people talk. You know, when I talk with a friend, I'm like, yeah, I don't like this, man. And it's like, well, that's it. And then I can come to a conclusion without him trying to dissuade me from it. I think that's and and, and then it sounds weird, right? Because I have this idea that no, this guy should be fighting me, and when he doesn't, I'm like, wait, what? So it distorts that too. That notion that conversations shouldn't be about shouldn't always be about dissuading someone or whatever. Conversations can be just an exchange of opinions, and you don't really need a strong argument. It's just, yeah, I don't feel like this is something I want to do anymore. That's it. I don't mind discussion, but I think a lot of the time discussion is used as an excuse uh, by people who can't accept other perspectives to just bully them into either agreeing with them or just having to justify everything. I'm like, no, nobody owes you anything. If I say I don't like something, I don't know if you have an explanation, and if you like it and you have an explanation for why you like it, that's fine. Um, you are not owed my, my time. So that's also fine. That's it. As always, the first stream in a while is going to be a bunch of thoughts I've been having uh, that I wanted to share. You know, that I wanted to make public. I don't know why. Do I think it's important for people to have my opinion and thing? No. Do I think it's important for people to listen to what I say? No, not really. Not really. I think there are way more important things to do. And, if anyone finds value in what I say, that's great. But as I said before, I don't know if it was in the recording or not. I'm doing this mostly as a log, where I am mentally. I want to learn archery. Completely random switch of topics, but yeah, I do want to learn archery. I think archery is great, awesome stuff. I want to be able to use a recurve bow. I don't want to do Olympic archery. I want to do something a bit more traditional. Sports archery, yeah, but not Olympic. because I don't know, I don't find those bows very attractive. Maybe I'll change my opinion once I start and I find them very cool. But they look very expensive, and complicated, and I don't know, that sort of thing never attracts me. Whenever the barrier of entry for something uh, becomes like weird, you know, when you start doing something and you know that if you spend more money on it, you would be able to do it better because the tool that you use is very influential on how you do it. Even though I shouldn't think that way, it's because as a novice, you hardly notice the difference between a bad thing and a good thing. Like when I was learning how to play the drums, I couldn't care less about the brand of drumsticks I used or their measurements or whatever. I used fucking bent sticks that you couldn't even hold properly because they were weird, and I had put tape on them to fix the balance because the balance was weird. And I learned to play with those, and I could play with those, and then I bought my first Big Firth pair, I'm in love with those now. And, you know, I used to use 5V 5V sticks, which are heavy sticks. With gooden tip, not the nylon tip. And those were good. I enjoyed those. But again, I haven't played in so long that I would probably again not notice the difference if I try to use a regular, I guess, off-brand pair of drumsticks. I mean, it is a piece of good that you used to hit a drum head, so I'm not sure how much of a difference they actually make, other than resisting and not breaking in the middle of playing or offering comfort in your hand, that kind of stuff. But, you know, not being bent, so you can actually do rolls. I couldn't do rolls for a while, bass rolls, because my sticks were bent, which meant every time I tried to do a roll, they would just they couldn't. They, one would do it one way, the other one would sound completely different. So my bass rolls were really hard to perform. The same with double strokes. When double stroking and your sticks are bent, they bounce weirdly because they're not hitting straight on the drum head. So you get really strange uh, double strokes. Good thing is that when you use a bad tool for a while, or a novice tool for a while, and then you switch to a more professional tool, or a more advanced tool that does the same thing, you realize that there are tons of things that now are easier. Because before, if you wanted to sound good or to look good, you had to make an extra effort, and now it's just fine. I do enjoy that about about using cheap tools. Yeah. That's one thing that I kind of miss from living at home is my drum kit. No, I couldn't bring it here, so it's still at my parents' place. And, I'm thinking about buying at some point a Yamaha or a Casio electronic, electric or whatever drum kit, so I can play early in the morning or late at night uh, with my headphones on, or even in the afternoon. Because it does produce a sound when you hit them. The the plastic heads, but even in the afternoon, I cannot play here. It would be highly disruptive, and the apartment is not super big, so it would be weird to play here. It would sound like shit. If I lived here alone, I would definitely have a drum kit somewhere in my living room, but I don't. Yeah. This area is very messy. This was the last version I sent to the person, so it's getting cleaned up. There's a lot of details added, a lot of mess removed, a lot of lines that were basically just strokes to generate information, turn into something more interesting. It's an ongoing task of painting. There you go. Of painting this. I'll have a bit more texture on the brush for these areas. It makes it so whenever let's see if you can notice, whenever I press really hard, that is a texture. If I press really hard, that's how it looks. If I press softer, it makes it a bit better. I could make it so there is a bigger difference between the two, but I'm trying to find a balance in this brush where I don't have to press super hard, because I think it's kind of ridiculous how hard I have to press for the texture to be gone. So I'll probably go more like this. There you go. So I can actually have strokes where the texture is fine, and strokes where I just texture is just part of it, instead of attacking so much the content of it. There you go. Do, do, do. I've been learning Japanese again, which is cool. To me, at least. You know, to you, maybe it's cringe or whatever. But to me, it's pretty cool. You know, I have gone to classes when I was a teenager, like basically 10 years ago. I I used to learn Japanese, and I went to class for a while, and for 2 years almost, and I quit when I finished school. When I finished high school, I just stopped going, and I can't remember why. It was probably because I didn't want my mom and dad to be paying for it. Um, or maybe I was just looking for a job or something. And and I started going, um, well, actually taking classes at home with an online teacher. And he's pretty cool. I enjoy his classes. I've been learning a lot. Uh, it's definitely slower than I could go if I was learning on my own, or if I really wanted to expedite the learning. But I'm honestly in no hurry, and what I've learned is over the years is that unless you really want to learn something, trying to learn it super fast only means that you quit faster, you end up forgetting it faster, you know, just because you did it kind of impulsively. But when you build this thing that starts becoming a part of your life, and it basically becomes a habit, a part of your routine, then that's when you understand. That's when you start internalizing it more, and the knowledge becomes something more normal. The fuck is that bell? Ah, that thing. It's really annoying. Ah, there you go. That's basically it. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Can you have a status? Uh, there you go. Hopefully, I'll be getting a new computer in a few months, so that would be nice to have. Let's see, stats, view. Can you pin a... Can you pin a thing? I know you were able to do it before. Ah! My god. No, can't remember. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel. Let's check a bit. Newgrounds.com. I don't know, Newgrounds is great. Uh, it's a great community for artists. I do hope certain things improve. Okay, I hope for the art portal to become a bit less shit. Because right now it's covered in garbage. Too many people ignore the "this is not a sketch" checkbox. Uh, a lot of them ignore the ratings and the rules about ratings. You know, tons of nudity in art that shouldn't have it. Uh, I dislike it completely. It makes the experience of going through the art portal uh, really annoying. I mostly comment on that. I report most posts that break rating rules. Uh, yeah, but I wish a lot of this stuff wasn't on the portal. Um, I wish the portal was a bit more filtered. I know the movies portal is also filled with garbage, but like there are tons of things I have 1.5 stars that just get through, but yeah, I don't know. It's so many things have like 2 stars, and they are deservedly 2 stars. What the fuck is that? Just 1 second, please. Music will go down. I'll be listening to something. Jesus Christ. Okay. See, that's the kind of shit. I don't get how that gets 3 stars, man. I was listening to some shit about. It was basically a part of a podcast with barely any animation, and it was shit. But because it's an opinion that some people share, some people don't, it gets past that. It's just garbage, man. I don't know. I like. I'm not against curating galleries. Like, I wish. This is what I wish. I wish I could make a custom view for the art portal. So, which is something that I've always wanted to do for Newgrounds. A kind of enhancer where where a kind of enhancer where you only see things that have passed your filters, right? So things that have more than certain amount of points, things that don't have certain tags, which obviously you can already do the tag thing on Neurons. Things that are not um, submitted by people you want to see, and you would say, "Oh well, that's your feed. You follow people, and that's your feed." Uh, kind of, but I wish I could just export that, and have like a something that people can see. And at the same time, it's not really your feed because maybe you just have different views, and you want to discover new artists, you want to discover new people, but you can't. Uh, but basically, I just want the same capabilities the Reddit enhancement suite gives you in terms of expanding on the functionality of the site, but for Newgrounds, I think you can make the site way better, if you could just add on top of it. Being able to, for example, vote on your feed without going to the post itself, being able to rate a piece from your feed, being able to see ratings on art without having to click on them, to be able to navigate the art portal without leaving the art portal, so you just see it on the image on the side, because most of the space on Neurons is wasted, really. So I would love to be able to have like a gallery view where I look at one piece, and while I'm seeing it, I can still look at the as everything else, and go through it with navigation keys. I don't know. I think in that kind of regard, the site could use some work. I do understand though that that's the kind of thing that makes your site addictive, being able to just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. But I don't know. It's not like the site doesn't recommend you stuff, right? It does. It does recommend you movies by other people. So why should the limit be at that instead of, okay, you finish watching this, this is the next one in this gallery view. That would be good to have, I think. Yeah. Nope, it's auto saving. One thing I don't like about Clip Studio is that when it auto saves, it just stops everything. And sometimes I feel it auto saves way more than it should. Like, I have set it up, I think, every 30 minutes. And I'll probably get it like 3 or 4 times an hour, which is obviously wrong. Or sometimes I just open the app after not using it for a while, and it will autosave. I'm like, dude, I just made 2 strokes. don't do that. That bell sound is gonna drive me insane. I don't like that. It's way too repetitive. If it was something that just happened randomly with the wind or something, but since it's an animation that loops, there are points where it's annoying as fuck. Yeah. But yeah, the idea would be, yeah, stream for a bit longer, not too much longer, and yeah, just an hour or 2 a day. That's fine. See what works, see what doesn't. Get into the rhythm. I don't know. Yeah, my mouth gets dry. I forgot that feeling. And I feel weird. There is so much that I want to talk about, but I don't want to do it without people listening. Um, that takes time, right? Especially on a platform like this that already doesn't have a big audience. don't know if I should stream here or if I should stream on Twitch. Because streaming on Twitch gives me the ability to change categories, while this doesn't. So that's my current concern. Maybe I should just stream to another platform instead of this. Because I get the feeling that Picardo is only used by artists. It's very rarely used by other people. I don't know. I don't know. I'll finish the stream now. Have a nice day. Whenever you're listening to this, hope you had some fun. It's been great streaming again and I'm talking to you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. If you made it here, much love. Send me a message somewhere. sangorillaart@gmail.com. Send me an email. Tell me what you thought. Beautiful. Mwah.